Do you know how to use try, and do you know when it's best not to use try? If you're not sure, you might be giving the wrong impression. So there are two ways that you can use try. First, you can try to do something, and second, you can try doing something. When you try to do something, you imagine it's going to take some kind of effort. It might be something difficult for you. It might be something that you don't really want to do. It might be something that you think you're going to fail at doing. And when you talk about something you tried to do, you found it really didn't go well. On the other hand, when you try doing something, you just want to do something new. It's maybe a new experience, it's maybe a new method that you want to try. Now, that doesn't mean that trying to do is always a bad choice. Sometimes it's the perfect choice. Let's say, for example, you want to talk about a goal and you're not sure if you're going to be able to achieve your goal or not. In that case, trying to do is actually a good choice. Let's take a look at one example. Let's say your goal is I'll try to learn 3 new words a day. Well, first let's think about 3 new words that you might know or you might not know. Instead of saying try, we can say I'll strive to do something, I'll attempt to do something, and I'll endeavor to do something. Can you learn those 3 words if you don't know them? Maybe. Sometimes your goal will be easy to achieve, but on other days, maybe you only learn 1 word, or perhaps you even forget to do your goal at all. You can say, I'll try learning 3 new words a day, and you will show more commitment to your goal. You're not thinking about failure, you're thinking about approaching it as a new experience. However, there's actually an even better way. If you are determined to achieve your goal of learning 3 words every day, forget about using try and instead say, I'm going to learn 3 new words a day. So let's look at another situation. We can also use try to recommend something, to suggest something, to make an offer. Imagine you come to my home and I prepared 2 things for you to eat. Now, because I'm not a regular host, I have decided to cover them up and label them A and B. And I say to you, you can try to eat A or you can try eating B. Now, which one are you going to choose? Well, I hope you choose B, because when we try eating something, we imagine it's going to be something that we will enjoy, that hopefully we will find delicious to eat. But if somebody says to you, try to eat something, you should be suspicious. It must be something that's difficult to eat, something they imagine you're not going to enjoy. Maybe it's just something that's too spicy for you, or the person knows that you're actually ill, which is why we often say to people who are ill, hey, you should try to eat something. Next, how about the past? Well, in this case, we have a clear difference between I tried to do something and I tried doing something. Imagine that you went climbing in the mountains in the winter for the first time last weekend. Now, in this area, I'm surrounded by the mountains. They're covered in snow all through the winter, and it is dangerous to climb them unless you know what you're doing, in which case it can be very exciting and rewarding. Which one would you like to say? Last weekend, I tried to climb a mountain in the winter. Or last weekend, I tried climbing a mountain in the winter. Well, you're probably right. You want to say the second one, that you tried climbing, because if you said the first one, I tried to climb, it did not end well. For example, last weekend I tried to climb a mountain in the winter for the first time, but well, it was a disaster. When we got near to the summit, we got completely stuck and had to get picked up by a helicopter. I'm never going to try that again. Compared to last weekend, I tried climbing a mountain in the winter for the first time, and whoa, it was a big challenge for me, but you know what? I really enjoyed it. When I got to the summit, I'd never felt better. I really recommend that you try it. I'm definitely going to do it again. So when we hear I tried to do something, we immediately imagine the next piece of information is going to be something negative. When we hear I tried doing something, we think the outcome is probably more positive, but that doesn't mean it always has to be positive. It could go either way, a positive outcome or a negative outcome. So you could say, last weekend I tried climbing a mountain in the winter for the first time, and you know, it was an interesting experience, but whoa, it was tough. I don't think I want to try that again. It's not for me. Try imagining the to in try to do is focused on distance. So it's like your goal is here and you are here and you're trying to get to your goal, but it feels like you are too far away to be able to achieve your goal. There are many to's in that sentence. It's a long, difficult sentence that focuses on difficulty compared to try doing something which feels like it's happening now. You're doing it now. You're very near to it. Trying to do is distant and trying doing is near for you, or at least it's focused on the experience. So that's the difference between trying to do and trying doing. Now, I'm going to move on and talk about another situation in which I recommend that you do not use try at all. But before we do that, could you please try hitting the like button for me if this video is useful for you? When is it best to avoid using try? Well, first of all, let's do a quick look back to what I said earlier. I remember when we talked about goals, instead of saying, I'll try to learn 3 new words a day, I'll try learning 3 new words a day, your best option is to say, I'm going to learn 3 new words a day if you believe that you are determined to achieve that goal. Now, another situation is when you promise to help people. So this is especially important in business. And you'll often hear people say, I'll try to help you. I'll try to find out the information for you. I'll try to do something for you. Those are fine. That's okay. You sound very helpful. You are showing that you're going to make an effort to help that person, but you're also recognizing it might be difficult to achieve it. So if you fail, it's kind of okay. What can you do? Well, of course, you're probably thinking, well, Alex is going to say, just use try doing. I'll try helping you. I'll try finding out the information for you. I'll try doing something for you. And sure, that's going to work as well. But let's forget about using try and let's be more confident in our ability to fulfill that promise and say, I will help you. I will find out the information for you. I will do something for you. You know, it reminds me of when I had a boss back in the 90s who got kind of angry with me. I must have said something like, okay, I'll try to do that for you in a really positive way, or at least I thought it was. But he got pretty angry and said, Alex, when I ask you to do something, I do not want you to try. I want you to do it. Sure, I thought that's actually a very powerful point, and it stuck with me until today. If you believe that you are going to achieve something for somebody and you're making a promise, there's nothing more powerful than telling them, I will do it. Not, I'll try to do it. Not even, I can do it, but I will do it. So, in summary, if you think something is challenging to do, say, I'll try to do it. If you think something is possible to do, say, I'll try doing it. If you think, though, you are determined to do something, forget about those and say, I'm going to do it. Then, if you offer something which is a little bit negative to someone, say, try to do it. If you offer something which is positive to someone, say, try doing it. If you want to talk about failing in the past, say, I tried to do it, but you had a negative outcome. But if, again, you just want to focus on the experience of doing something in the past, use I tried doing it. And finally, when you want to make a promise to someone, go ahead and use I'll try to help you or I'll try helping you. Those are fine. They're okay. Maybe the best choice. It's less risk using those. Your promise is a little bit weaker. However, if you're a professional, if you believe you can fulfill a promise, say, I will do it. Thank you very much. Finally, please try writing something in the comments for me.